Hey, it's Shelby. Today I'm going to show you how I made this mimic. I had a very loose idea in my head about what I wanted to do, so I started by sketching it out on my iPad. Since this dude is going to be completely stationary and I don't plan on opening or closing his mouth, I decided to put some little sticks in there to keep him from shutting it on me. I wanted to incorporate the hardware of this latch into the design of the treasure chest, but I didn't want the actual latch claspy thing on there, so I went ahead and took it out. Then I had to start filling out his mouth with the throat, and the gums. Since I didn't really know what would happen if I put this wooden box in the oven to bake polymer clay onto it, I decided to just get some air dry clay, which was both easy and very irritating to work with. To get this super uncomfortable to look at tongue texture, I mixed some already dried clay with some wet clay, and the texture was perfect. This particular stage is giving me very giant clam from SpongeBob vibes.
Hello there.
I used translucent polymer clay to sculpt all of the teeth and then baked them separately so that they would keep their shape when I had to shove them into the gums of this guy's gaping maw. Since everything still needed to be painted, I didn't want to leave the teeth in there. I just wanted to leave an impression so I could go back and put them in later. Now it's time to sculpt the face of my darling son. Here is the first iteration of his horrible nose. The longer I stared into his tiny red eyes, the less I could shake the image that he was just kind of gnawing on the latch hardware, so I removed it. And I give him a nose job. When I started to think about appendages, I was thinking maybe I would go with the Dark Souls method. Maybe give him some little grabby hands or some long, lanky legs. But I ended up sticking with the classic Eldritch Horror tentacles. I wanted an old stone wall for the back of the base, so I added the foam bricks and some rocks to my trusty udon takeout cup and gave them the old 1-2 Hestu Maraca special. Excuse me, sir. Now that the rocks have beat them up and worn down all their hard edges, I can start on the base. Please enjoy this crispy ASMR bit. I add some depth to the brick lines, and then I use the cursed rock from the previous video and beat the shit out of it. We're really reaching for that empty, forsaken dungeon aesthetic. Out of everything I know about myself, I know this to be an undeniable truth. I will take any excuse to make a tiny sword. And to add to the pile of bait for our treasure chest mimic, I am crafting a pile of gold coins. I knew I wanted to add some source of light to this piece, but I wanted to stick with the empty dungeon aesthetic that we're going for. And I thought I might give the sculpture a bit of plot to make it look like a torch had just been dropped on the ground upon coming across the mimic. And now to risk ruining everything with paint. Once everything is dried, everyone gets a dry brush in their respective light colors. And black acrylic wash because we are, of course, in a dirty old dungeon. I felt the colors needed a little bit more variation, so I changed the eyes to a bright yellow. And I used UV resin to give the tongue a slimy, wet appearance. So sorry about that. And resin on the eyes as well. With everything painted, I can finally add the teeth in. I am not willing to admit how many times I repainted these tentacles to look the way that I wanted. I'm still not super happy with them, but I had to stop. And then I added the shaft of this arrow that I made off screen to make it look like he had been shot in the mouth. Now it's time to add my fallen torch by cutting a hole in the bottom of the base for my light and gluing everything together. And then to finish everything off, all I needed to do was drop my pile of gold in front of my mimic and make sure it got a good coating of watered down Mod Podge. And we're on to the reveal. Hello! Welcome to the end bit, where I thank you for getting all the way to the end bit. The other video had one of these, but it was bad. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and maybe leave a comment if you wanna. Those lights a teeny tiny little fire under. Teeny tiny little fire under me. It's really encouraging and probably helpful in one way or another. Didn't cost you anything, didn't cost me anything. Anyways, seriously, thank you so much. I will see y'all next time. This isn't far enough down.